Okay, I, Chair Heather Miller, call the virtual electrical and elevator board meeting of November 19th, 2020 to order at 9:30 a.m. Debbie, please call the roll.
Yes, ma'am. Chair Heather Miller.
Here.
Vice Chair Thomas Kyle. Mr. Vice Chair. Okay, I did see him. We'll come back to Mr. Vice Chair. Roll call. Thomas Kyle, Vice Chair.
Here.
Thank you. William Barlow.
Here.
One of our new members, Amy Beyer.
Here.
Another new member, Elizabeth Berga.
It's Bunga, and I'm here.
Thank you. I apologize for that. Randy Carmody. John Flago.
Here.
Scott Hall.
Here.
Robert McNeil.
Access code followed by the pound or hash sign.
Robert, could you say whether you're here or not again, please? Robert
I'm here.
McNeil. Oh, thank you. Brennan Pomeroy.
Present.
Thank you. Ryan Richards.
Here.
Effort invalid.
Andy
Secretary.
Smith.
Here.
5, 7, 6, 9, 9.
And James Totten is excused from the meeting this morning. Let me just call Randy Carmody one more time. Randy, are you here? Okay, Madam Chair, if he does come in, then we'll just have to note his time, please. And Madam Chair, we do have a quorum.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. We'll go back. It looks like almost everybody is on mute. Not quite everybody is on mute right now. If you start talking and you don't see any response, we will go backwards if you miss your opportunity to speak, but try to stay on mute as much as possible because it makes me laugh too hard. So we're moving on to agenda item 1C, which is the approval of the agenda and order of business. Does anybody have any changes to the order of business? I, Chair Miller, rule the agenda and order of business approved. And everybody has the draft meeting minutes from our previous meeting of September 24th. Unless anybody has anything to amend, I, Chair Miller, rule the draft meeting minutes of September 24th, 2020 final. Our next meeting is January 28th, 2021. And the 2021 board meeting of calendar dates is available. If you have any questions about the dates, you can contact Debbie or Melissa after the meeting, but they are on the website. As Debbie pointed out in roll call, we have 2 new members today, which is pretty exciting. First up is Amy Beyer. She was appointed by the governor and confirmed by the Senate to public member position on the Electrical and Elevator Board for her first term beginning October 1st, 2020. Thank you for stepping up, Amy. And if you could just give yourself an introduction to the group.
Thanks for having me, Heather. My name is Amy Bart, a newly appointed public member. My interest in joining is to support regulatory development and licensure reviews. As a public member, I do work outside of the elevator and electrical industries. I work at Care Oregon Medicaid and Medicare Health Plan. It's the largest health plan in Oregon, so serves multiple counties throughout the state. As part of my work, I review medical board licensure reports and reports on doctors and hospitals and propose action to their health plan contracts for patient safety. And I also go down to Salem, especially pre-COVID-19, and to work with the lawyers in developing regulations specifically for healthcare. I've taken a few electrical courses, but I have, I'm sure, a lot to learn, so thank you for having me. What drew me to be a part of the board is I have attended a few of the meetings when they were in person, and was really interested in seeing how similar the medical processes are to, in terms of regulatory development and licensure reviews, to the electrical industry. Two completely different industries, but really interesting to see how the integrity of the system continues on in parallel. And so, yeah, looking forward to learning more and being of support, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. And then also I would like to introduce Elizabeth Bunga. She was appointed by the governor and confirmed by the Senate to the municipal building official position on the electrical and elevator board for her first term beginning October 1st, 2020. Elizabeth, can you introduce yourself to the group?
Yes, thank you, Heather, Chair. I am a deputy building official for Clackamas County, and previous to that, I also worked as the building official for the City of Lake Oswego. And then a few decades back, I actually was an inside wireman apprentice with IBEW Local 48 NECA. So I am especially fond of the electrical trades. And I've had about 25 years of professional experience in development and construction. My interest to serve is really just part of that public service that I already enjoy in my current position. And I like to be able to advocate for all stakeholders in our construction industry. Obviously, I'm proficient in administering regulations and codes. That's kind of my wheelhouse. And I have a lot to learn. I'm happy to be here, and thanks for welcoming me.
Thank you. And again, welcome to you both. We're moving right on to agenda item 2 for public comment. Tyler, do we have any? Because I don't think I saw any.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Tyler Glaze, Policy Analyst for the Building Codes Division. I do not believe we have any public comment, but I just want to take a moment to ask if anyone connected to this meeting via phone or GoToMeeting has any public comment at this time. Madam Chair, I do not believe we have anyone.
All right, then we're moving right on to reports. Agenda item 3A. Nick Howard Linville, the contesting representative, is here. His reports are in the packet.
Perfect. Good morning, and good morning, board members, and good morning, Chairwoman. This morning, the agenda item 3A first is BCD case 2020-051 in the matter of Mark Nilsen. This particular case, this is a proposed order from ALJ Snyder. We had a hearing. It was regarding a license application. The applicant was seeking signing supervisor, sit for signing supervisor license. ALJ Snyder found that the applicant did not have the requisite license hours needed to sit for the test. Typically, what had happened is the applicant didn't go through the apprentice process, or at least he didn't submit any information regarding that process. So he needed to demonstrate right at about 24,000 hours as a licensed electrician, and a lot of the hours that he submitted were from Hawaii, and he did not have a license until 2005. through 2008. So a lot of the hours that he was seeking to demonstrate were not lawfully obtained. So ALJ Snyder issued the proposed order denying his license application. So we would ask that the board adopt ALJ Snyder's proposed order and issue a final order denying Mr. Nilsen's application.
Does anybody have any questions for Nick? Anybody want to make? Actually, I learned that I can make motions, so I'm going to make the motion that that we accept the recommendation from the division. Is that good enough? I'll go ahead and admit that normally what I have has a little script on it.
This is Rob.
Tyler, does that suffice?
Madam Chair, Nick, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that will suffice, yes.
Yes, that would be great.
I second that motion.
Thank you. And Debbie, will you please call the vote?
Yes, ma'am. Randy Smith,
Aye.
Ryan Richards,
Aye.
Brennan Pomerose,
Aye.
Robert McNeil,
Aye. Aye.
Scott Hall,
Aye.
John Flagel,
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Amy Byer,
Aye.
William Barlow,
Aye.
Vice Chair Thomas Kyle,
Aye.
and Chair Heather Miller.
Aye.
Madam Chair, the motion passes unanimous.
Okay, agenda item 3B. We're still with Nick.
I promise it's almost over. Madam Chair, it's Nick Howard, Building Codes Division, contested case rep. Agenda item 3B is regarding division case C2020-0039 for Dale Clark, who was doing business as Clark Signs. This case came out of from local enforcement out of Astoria, and Mr. Clark had used his sign contractor's license to procure a permit for Phoenix Signs, which was a Washington sign operation, and in doing so, he enabled unlicensed work with regard to some electrical signs in the Astoria area. And the amount sought in the notice is consistent with past precedent and the penalty matrix. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. But we would ask that the board adopt the order and issue a final order.
I would like to so move that we adopt the findings and vote in favor.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt the order. Debbie, can you take a vote, please?
Yes, ma'am. Randy Smith,
Aye.
Ryan Richards,
Aye.
Brennan Pomerose,
Aye.
Robert McNeil,
Aye.
Scott Hall,
Aye.
John Flagel,
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Amy Byer,
Aye.
William Barlow,
Aye.
Vice Chair Thomas Kyle,
Aye.
and Chair Heather Miller.
Aye.
Madam Chair, the motion passes unanimous.
Thank you, Debbie. The next item on the agenda is the elevator program update. I don't know if everybody heard at the beginning, but Warren Hartung is not going to be able to join us today. He does have, I didn't get the stats emailed to me, I don't think, Debbie, but that is okay.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I did not receive those, so I will be sending them out to you at a later date.
Okay, that's fine. And then we move on to agenda item 3D, which is the electrical program update with Mr. Keith Anderson.
Program Chief. I have a couple things today, and I want to welcome the two new members, Amy and Elizabeth, and thank you for taking the time to be part of the board. So the Code Committee CE credits have now been applied to those of us that were part of that committee. So if you would take a look and make sure that they're applied to your license correctly, and if not, please contact me and I can get that taken care of. So, and then we have a new hire, Julia Hire, Senior Policy Advisor, and I believe she's with us, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julia. And as Keith mentioned, I'm the Senior Policy Advisor at the Building Codes Division. I started here about a month ago, but I have been with the Department of Consumer and Business Services, which Building Codes is under, for the past 3.5 years doing policy work. Before that time, I worked as an attorney for about 9 years. And so I look forward to working with everyone. I thank you guys for having me at the meeting. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Welcome. Next, we have Todd Smith, the Enforcement Manager, and he wants to talk about the wildfire enforcement.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. This is Todd Smith, Interim Enforcement Manager with the division. Good morning, members of the board. I just wanted to give you a quick update on kind of some of the things we're looking at doing in response to the recent wildfires from the enforcement side. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we get our field investigators out into those impacted areas to be looking for that unlicensed work or unpermitted work that might be happening. And then part of that would also be doing some outreach with the local jurisdictions to let them know what to look for in terms of potential, again, unlicensed work that might be happening. Do a little bit of outreach for consumers, making sure they know how to check licenses for both BCD trade licenses and CCB licenses. And part of that would also be working with CCB to have their field investigators, making sure that they're looking for the same things that we are. Additionally, we'd also want to be looking for any potential advertising that might be happening in those areas on those on the websites and whatnot that people tend to use, with Craigslist and Thumbtack and things like that. So we're just kind of trying to make sure that our eyes are open and our ears to the ground out there to see what we can find and make sure that the licensing laws and all the construction laws are being followed for the consumers that have been impacted. I have a question on that front. Or is there any like billboards or PSAs put out on the radio for that type of thing, just to inform homeowners? That's a great idea. I don't know if we have the budget for those things. As far as I know, we don't have that yet. My goal is probably to be working more through individual contact with the local jurisdictions, our existing gov delivery services, and just kind of making it work on that side. But it's definitely a good idea, and we can continue talking about it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd. And that's all I had today for the update, unless anyone had a question for me. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Keith, and good to meet you, sort of, Julia, and thank you, Todd. We're moving on to agenda item 4A, which is the Electrical Program Delegation received from the City of Harrisburg. Just to start us out, this is an informational presentation where we have no action here. So Tyler is going to guide us through.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Again, my name is Tyler Glaze. I'm a policy analyst for the division. In late September, the Building Codes Division received an application to assume a building inspection program from the City of Harrisburg. They are currently under the management of Lynn County in regard to their building inspection program, and they wish to assume their own. And from time to time, we receive these applications, and there's a long process of information they need to provide, etc. If you look at your board packets and agenda item 4A, there's my brief memo describing the timelines in a very short fashion. There's also the notice that the Building Codes Division provided to interested parties on October 15th. And the deadline to receive comment and questions about that, I believe, was November 14th, which has already passed. And there are several other deadlines that will need to be met in the future if the city continues to wish to assume their own building inspection program, including an electrical program. What we're looking for in this current board meeting is just some feedback from the electrical and elevator board, and just what sort of getting a sense of what questions you have about the application itself, the application materials that have been provided by the City of Harrisburg. And again, just general feedback about it. We will be coming back at a later board meeting, I believe the next board meeting, to get a final approval or disapproval of the city's application from the electrical and elevator board, excuse me. If I can answer any very brief questions about it, I will do my best, and otherwise you have the materials in section 4A of your board packets.
So Tyler, I don't know if, oh, never mind, Tom.
Chair, is there a permitting program?
Board Member Kyle, I believe I heard you correctly that you're asking if there is a permitting program.
If there's
I'm having some trouble hearing you, but
I think
sorry.
we all are. I think he's asking about an e-permitting program. Do they have an e-permitting program?
Madam Chair, I do not know exactly if they have an e-permitting program. However, there is a permitting program through the City of Harrisburg. And I believe that they can come back with some information given to us to clarify that if they do in fact have an e-permitting program.
Okay. I do have another question, Tyler. When I was looking through the information that was put together, I see that Russell Young, I think, is the inspector, and I couldn't tell with what I was reading if they have a plan for the plan review and inspections where Mr. Young isn't qualified. And I guess that's more of a question for the future and to be addressed as we go forward.
Madam Chair, if I'm understanding your question correctly, you believe he's certified for certain things, but for things he's not certified, do they have a plan review process in place for that? I do not have an answer for that question, but I will certainly reach out to the City of Harrisburg and get an answer for you.
Okay. I don't know. Tom,
Chair.
any other questions? Oh, oops, sorry. Ellen?
Hey, it's Rob. It's Rob McNeil. Yeah, Tyler, I have one question for you. And it was under in Exhibit A 6, Junction City Obligations, where they have an electrical specialty code inspector. What is, I guess one question for the future is, what is the fallback if that inspector is out for a long period of time due to illness or whatever? Will Harrisburg be picking up those duties, or is that going to go back to the county?
That is an excellent question. I will look into that and get you an answer as soon as I can.
Madam Chairperson, this is Michelle Eldridge from the City of Harrisburg. I am monitoring this. I don't know if you would like to have me answer any of the questions or not, or if this is just going to be communicated to me through Tyler, who we've been working with, but I am available.
I don't, if you're prepared to answer the questions, I don't mind you answering the questions. I assume that you have to do it with Tyler too, but he's here.
Yes. Yes, we have for the last question on electrical code, if somebody is out, they have Lane County as their backup for any kind of the permitting. So I understand that will be what happens if somebody is out for a period of time.
Heather, can I ask a question? This is Nathan Phillips.
You may.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Nathan Phillips. I'm here representing NECA today, and I have a question for Michelle. Russell Young doesn't have A-level certification in as an electrical inspector, and so we're wondering how you intend to provide commercial and multifamily inspections and plan review for in your jurisdiction if you assume it, the program.
Yes, thank you, Nathan. We were of the impression from Lynn County that, from Junction City, that he had the necessary qualifications to be able to follow through with the services that we need. So we very obviously will be working with Tyler and with the City of Junction City in order to verify that, and in order to make sure that we're going to remedy any deficiencies in terms of what kind of certifications he needs to follow through with that.
Thank you.
If nobody has any other questions. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Tyler. Agenda item 4B is the amendments to the solar readiness clarification, and Keith Anderson is coming back to explain that for us.
Yes. So this was part of the governor's directive that the Oregon Residential Specialty Code had to meet by October 1. And it has to do with building permits that are issued after October 1 or after for 1 and 2 family need to provide solar ready provision. And it came out and their language didn't really line up with the electrical code. So there was some clarification that needed to be done with that. We jumped on that right away, so that wouldn't cause a problem trying to meet this. But they required a rigid metal conduit that is 24 inches either horizontally or vertically from the main panel. And it had to be a minimum 3/4 inch rigid metal raceway is what the rule said, extended from the J box to a cap roof termination. So rigid metal to them means that it's non-flexible. So we can use any metal raceway, any solid non-flexible raceway to meet that requirement. And then they also wanted an exception to allow, in lieu of the conduit, you could run a MC cable, number 10 3-wire in place of that conduit, and again capping it at each end. So I just wanted to make you aware of that it's now a requirement, and there has been a clarification on that so that it speaks towards the electrical, our electrical ease, and somebody doesn't assume that it has to be installed in rigid. Anyway, if you have any questions on that, I can answer those for you. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for making the clarifications. We're moving on to new business and back to Tyler Glaze, policy analyst.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Again, my name is Tyler Glaze. I'm a policy analyst for the division. We have 57 applications for continuing education for this round from 12 different organizations. 39 courses were recommended by the committee for approval. 5 courses were recommended for denial. 11 instructors were recommended for approval, and 2 instructors were recommended for denial. If I can answer any questions about these, I will do my best to do so, and otherwise this will require a motion, Madam Chair.
I'll make a motion to.
I'll make this easy. I'll make a motion to approve the committee recommendations for approval and denial of courses and instructors. We don't need seconds for this, so all we have to do is ask Debbie to call the roll. The vote, I mean.
Thank you. Randy Smith,
Aye.
Ryan Richards,
Aye.
Vernon Pomerose,
Aye.
Robert McNeil,
Aye.
Scott Hall,
Aye.
John Flago,
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Amy Byer,
Aye.
William Barlow,
Aye.
Vice Chair Thomas Kyle, I saw your lips move, Thomas, to
Aye.
you do approve? Thank you. And Chair Heather Miller.
Aye.
Madam Chair, the motion passes unanimous.
Thank you, Debbie. Agenda item 8B, back to Tyler.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Tyler Glaze, policy analyst for the division. Building Codes received a request from Mike Holt Enterprises recently regarding an individual who had taken, I believe, 16 hours of courses that were approved after he took those courses. The courses were not yet approved, if I'm understanding correctly, that but at the time that he took them, the courses were later approved. And we need a motion from the board as to whether or not to approve the retroactive credit request from Mike Holt Enterprises.
For the new people, this is a pretty standard approval that we do if if the course gets approved recently after the person takes it. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the retroactive request received from Mike Holt Enterprise. And Deb, will you take a vote?
Yes, ma'am. Randy Smith,
Aye.
Brian Richards,
Aye.
Brennan Pomerose,
Aye.
Robert McNeil,
Aye.
Scott Hall,
Aye.
John Flagel,
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Amy Byer,
Aye.
William Barlow,
Aye.
and I believe Vice Chair Thomas Kyle has left the meeting, but I will call out his name. Vice Chair Thomas Kyle?
Aye.
Okay. Chair Heather Miller?
Aye.
Madam Chair, the motion passes unanimous.
Okay, everybody, this is the last meeting of 2020. There being no further business, the meeting is adjourned at 10:07. Thanks everybody for coming.